Let's move straight to our next conversation. Airports are more than just transit points. They are engines of economic growth, shaping the destiny of cities and regions. In Ekiti, Governor Gov Oyebanji is determined to elevate the state's aviation prospects by transforming the Ekiti Agro-Allied International Cargo Airport into a 24-hour operational hub. Speaking during the March edition of Meet Your Governor, Oyebanji expressed confidence in the state's economic trajectory, emphasizing that significant progress has been recorded over the past 2.5 years. He assured residents that his administration remains committed to long-term development and an improved standard of living. Now, the governor further revealed ongoing discussions with 3 major airlines to commence commercial flights at the airport. This, he said, would enhance air travel, stimulate tourism, attract investors, and facilitate the transportation of cargo, including farm produce, to both local and international destinations. Okay, BKO, the Ekiti Agro-Allied Airport, according to the governor, is set to run 24-hour flight operations. But talk to me, how significant is this to the people of the state?
Yeah, initially, when this kind of projects are delivered, people will say, no, it's not beneficial, it's not useful. Why would people come up with airports? Okay. They should have focused on other things. But airports are becoming increasingly necessary in our country. And more people are opting to fly rather than travel by road because of the activities of bandits and all that. And whoever has been abducted before or has had a friend abducted, the last thing you want to see happen to you is to be kidnapped. So some airports that were not busy in the past, you are now seeing, up to 6 landings a day, from those airports, because people are increasingly, flying. I went to Benin last month for the 100-day celebration
of the state governor.
Of the governor was invited. And I was surprised. 3 flights, all fully booked. Yes. In fact, I tried to get someone on a flight. We didn't succeed because the flights were fully booked. And on our way back, I nearly missed my flight. It was just providence that ensured that I didn't miss the flight. And as I got to the airport, when I saw clearly that they had closed the boarding gate, I was trying to see if the other airline, whether I could get on the other airline. Again, that one was fully booked. And they told me, no, there's no chance of getting on this line. They were going to leave about the same time. Yes. So, but ultimately somebody helped me. And then along with my CEO and our executive assistant, we got on that that flight. And I asked the fellow who sat beside me, I said, do you frequently come to Benin? And he said, yes, I travel all the time to Benin. I said, I was shocked that this, in the past, just one airline was going there, and sometimes it won't even be full. But now, 3 airlines and fully booked each time. And it was not weekend. It was the beginning of the week. So, when you look at the airport in Ekiti, you are inclined to think, what is it for? But when you look at the number of tertiary institutions in that state, both federal and state, you look at Nafebaola University, for example, which is not far away from that airport, a lot of the students, their parents, they would rather fly if the opportunity was there. And you look at a state like Kogi, some of the people who will be using that airport, who will be flying in flying into that airport, will be actually people going to Kogi State, because after that they can then make a short road trip to Kogi State, you know, from Ado-Ekiti. It's not really far. If not for the road that is bad, in some places, it's not a far journey.
It's terrible.
Yes, it's not really supposed to be far, you know. So I believe that if all of what this governor has told us will be done, get the right equipment, install the instrument landing system, which will ensure that aircraft can fly into the place at night. According to him, it's about 4.6 billion now. But if they really want to make the airport one of a kind, because with that instrument landing system, it means that the Ado-Ekiti airport, as well as that of Lagos, will be the only two airports in the southwest with that equipment. You know, yes, which will enhance safety and to keep the airport running. Yes, many states are building so-called cargo airports, but we do not see them use these airports extensively for moving farm produce, for moving cash crops, which is what they are supposed to do
in a primary way.
When you call them cargo airport. That's basically what they are supposed to do. And you go to a country like Ethiopia, for example, they built airports. They call them aeropolis. They built airports close to the food production belts.
The food production belts.
Like tomatoes, those fresh vegetables, and tea. I said tea. And flowers.
Flowers, exactly.
Flowers. Ethiopia exports flowers, roses, and the rest of them to some countries of the world. And these things are produced fresh as they are produced from those aeropolis.
Straight out, jetting out of the country. They get out
of the country. So this is what we should be doing. Let those airports be used for what you designed them for, so that you can export from those airports. You can export fresh vegetables, tomatoes, and the rest, because they want to buy them fresh. We see some tomatoes. If you go to some department store, you go to ShopRite, you see fresh tomatoes, fresh as fresh. Whereas those tomatoes were actually shipped in from the UK and other places. You know, a lot of them, bell peppers and all that. You know, a lot of them are not produced here. They bring them in, but they still retain that freshness. So we should be able to. Nigeria is a country that has not reached its full potential in agriculture. And we should do a lot more. State governors should cultivate more arable land. We've not cultivated up to 12% of the arable land in our country. That's a lot that we can do in that regard. And I won't discourage anybody building an airport now, because if that Benin airport was not there, will I take the risk to go by road?
Been difficult. All right, we have Ogbanazu calling in. Okay, Ogbanazu, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout. Okay, so sorry. All right, Mayor, talk to me. Governor Oyebanji also said something that the economy of the state has improved under his watch. The governor must be doing something different this time.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the governor is doing well. But I do not share his optimism concerning the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. One, the airport will be better served if they use it mostly as a cargo airport.
Okay.
But like Vicky said, most times they don't really use, they still do the passenger traffic thing. But in that part of town, there's not enough traffic. And because there's not enough traffic, airlines won't go there. For example, just very close by, there's Akure Airport.
Okay.
My experience going to Akure, using Akure Airport is not good at all. Because I went for a party in Ekiti. I don't want to go by road. So I went by here to Akure Airport. Then took a airport taxi to Ekiti.
Okay.
But by the time I came back from Ekiti, the airline that I was supposed to take cancelled. I had to wait to buy another ticket on another airline. The Duke of Shomolu just shared another experience like that when the airline cancelled. And why they cancel is because, like I said, there's not enough traffic. Usually, for example, in Akure, it's 2 airlines that go there.
All right, so sorry, I have to just hold that thought. Oyebanji calling in again. Oyebanji, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you. Let's talk.
Yes, my name is Oyebanji Mohammed Ibrahim.
Let's talk.
Good evening, Babajide, and congratulations on your birthday, sir. Meanwhile, I think our governors should be guided, correctly. And what they are doing by this, bringing this elephant project, especially on this, airport in Ekiti here, while we have an airport in Akure, I don't think that will never help our, our economy, considering what we are seeing now. Instead of using such, colossal amount of money to build airport, the cargo airport, there are a lot of roads and other, job employment opportunity to create for, Ekiti youth. But when we started, encouraging things like this, and you now expect, another state to go and start building an airport with billions of naira when people are suffering. And come to think of it, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
They've already built it. It's not.
It's already built.
So my argument is that the problem they have in that area has to do with traffic. And because when there is not enough traffic, Bini is different. Bini, because of certain things now, you have enough traffic. Okay. So an airline can go there and they can still make their money based on the traffic and the landings that they could do.
Okay.
But in Akure, for example, which has been there for a long time, they don't have that. So they cancel most times. You are not sure that you can get back when you have already bought the ticket. You are not sure.
And it won't be nice for plane to go back empty.
So when they see that
it has not always been like that.
When they see
but
that
the cost of air travel, though,
it's very high.
Very high.
One way, sometimes you pay as high as 160, 170,000.
Yes.
And it wasn't like that before.
That same route, I'd been on that route before, and 3 airlines, and they were doing well. But it's not everybody who can afford 160, 170,000 for a one-way trip. And that's what we are seeing. So people who can't afford, they will drop out.
Okay.
That is the thing. It's a lot of money now to fly.
Exactly.
It's a lot of money. Only those who can truly, who have got money.
The wherewithal.
And who
So instead
cannot
of thinking
avoid
of 24 hours, let the governor concentrate on what they have now. Because the money to be able to fly at night is a lot of money. I think they can use that money elsewhere. Because
use the money
they don't have enough traffic to be able to do 24 hours. I don't think they have.
All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout. All right, if you just joined us, still Journalist Hangout. I see I have Mayor Kimpelu right here and BKO. So, BKO, in Ekiti State, over 75% of the state, the population of the state engage in agricultural production. Now, what should the state governor be doing? He said that economy is improving. What should the state be doing to improve agri production and also for the youths to make it more attractive?
He's one of the governors who have really shown tremendous interest in getting young people to be involved in agriculture. He's probably the governor that has impressed me the most in that area.
Okay.
So we are seeing young people. In fact, they built, what was it called, houses for them.
Oh, really?
In those food production hubs where they can watch DSTV, and then if they like during the weekends they can go home, but they are resident close to those farm centers, typical farm centers like the ones that Awolowo did. That is what Governor Oyebanji is doing in Ekiti. And for those who do not believe, who are minded to disbelieve anything that they hear, I challenge them to go to Ekiti to see what I'm talking about. You know, maybe when the media has the time to focus on some of these things that some governors are doing, that will be beneficial to us in the long run. Okay. We'll be able to see some of these things. Young people, and they are ready. It's the same thing that that Soludo has done
in Anambra State,
encouraging young people to take to agriculture.
Absolutely.
We can, if you provide the tools that they need and give them the right seedlings, they know that that is better than taking handouts from politicians.
Exactly.
Oh, that is not sustainable. They give you how much today, tomorrow you want to come back to them. But some of them can actually set themselves up and be self-sufficient. If the right environment is created, the governor has started that. And I want to encourage him to continue to do that.
To continue.
The Southwest, the governors of the Southwest will put on their thinking caps.
Okay.
Waiting for people to ship food from the north. When you have opportunity to grow your own food
in your own state,
is borderline irresponsibility to take from what the phrase that I used against those people who lied against me the other day. It is borderline irresponsibility to not try to grow what you eat. We must, as they say, we must eat what we kill. Eat what you produce. You can produce even livestock production. If we really want to do it, we can do it even in the Southwest here and be successful at it. Are they not doing it in Botswana? One of the best countries of the world in terms of cattle production. Botswana, they build, in fact, after solid minerals, is livestock.
Livestock.
Every family in Botswana, every family has its own heads of cattle. It's like their national industry. Cattle production. It's like their national industry.
And the governors, they own the land.
They own the land, but they are not using it. They are not using it.
I think the problem has to do with our neglect of agriculture. Because during the time of the premier, during the time of Western region, agriculture was the bedrock of the success that they achieved, especially cocoa production. And I don't see why we cannot do that now. What I will also, to lend my voice to that, is that the governor should take one step more. Having enticed youth to get involved in agriculture, it is important for them to concentrate where they have comparative advantage. Both Ekiti and Osun and the northern part of Oyo should be able to feed the Southwest.
The entire Southwest.
Yes. Because in those regions,
they have land.
Not only that they have lands, the people there are traditionally farmers.
Yes.
So it is important that government should realize that if they give encouragement and create the enabling environment, then agriculture will thrive in these places. These three states,
Oyo State alone is bigger than the whole of the Southeast.
Yeah.
Oyo State alone, bigger than all the states of the Southeast put together. So what are we doing with the land?
So I guess the governors really need to start thinking.
Yes, because we know they don't really have land.
Exactly.
But they can still collaborate.
Collaborate with Ogun State, exactly. I think they did with Kebbi. With
Ogun State in the riverine areas have no business not producing enough rice to feed the region. Have no business not producing enough rice in the riverine parts of the state. So it's just that we just chose to neglect agriculture because oil came. And now we think agriculture is something that we shouldn't bother ourselves about. And we'll be complaining that there is hunger. We are seeing people, an individual, making 1.450 billion from 3 crops alone.
3 crops alone.
This is not fiction. We saw them. Immediately I got into Brinigwari because I had heard that story that the individual who produced the highest quantity of maize in the entire Kaduna state was in Brinigwari there. I got into the market. I said they should go and look for the man for me. And they brought him. And I interviewed him. And he kept telling me, I'm not the only one. No. Later they brought a young guy, someone about your age, who almost matched the old man in terms of production and profit from it. You can imagine. 825 million from one crop alone. One crop. And people still think that, oh, agriculture is something to neglect.
I guess it's a wake-up call for the governors. I think so. It's a serious wake-up call.
The Southwest, you know, they have some holding company. I think they too should get
exactly.
Odua investment should get more involved in agriculture. Yes.
And then
because that's the essence of
this. The Southwest, what's it called? Dawn, which is like the think tank.
Development agenda for Western Nigeria.
Yes, it's like a think tank for the entire region. It's supposed to do its job of generating ideas that will help us improve security, that will help us improve agri production. We must focus on that.
Exactly.
We must focus on that. Because the opportunities are there.
Yeah.
We just choose not to grab the opportunities that are there. Absolutely. In every facet of agriculture, whether it's crop production, whether it's livestock, everything. There's opportunity.
All right, then. All right, let's move straight to our third and final conversation. Crises have